The massacre had long since played out on the war-torn landscape of the Desolate Court. Now the only living thing left in the realm was one of the only survivors of the massacre, named Herr Sturm, standing alone as the cold winds howled, carrying the voices of those who had fallen long ago. Herr Sturm looked down at what he held in each hand. In one, he held the blade which had carried out the slaughter. In the other, he wielded the very artifact that had brought the massacre to an end. Herr Sturm hadn't moved an inch since the horrific event came to an end, pondering what role he was to play in history, now that everything he had striven and worked towards had been either lost or destroyed. In a way, as Herr Sturm saw it, the massacre was partly his fault. Although he may not have chosen to draw the blade on his now-deceased friends, he could have stopped the sequence of events leading up to the massacre at many points. He could have destroyed the thing that allowed the guilty party to possess his body. He could have kept his friends out of the matter entirely and taken care of the crisis himself. He could have killed the guilty party when he had the chance. He could have chosen not to create the very thing the guilty party was after in the first place, the Spectral Sapphire. The Spectral Sapphire was a gemstone he and the guilty party, once a friend named Barry, had worked together to create. They hoped to unlock the secrets of interdimensional travel, but Barry's ambitions leaned a little too close to the shadows. Barry's parents weren't the most loving. In fact, a far better description would be neglectful and resentful, which would peak in the near hyperbolic sense around Christmas. With the Sapphire, Barry had hoped to unleash monsters long vanished to the Shadow Realm to devour all the Christmas spirit that would be born during the winter months. That way, everyone in the realm would understand the pain and suffering he had attributed to the holiday. When Herr Sturm came back to his senses, he found his gaze looking at what he wielded on his left hand, the Crystal Gauntlet. Embedded in the gauntlet were 6 crystals which gave it power, and with their power Barry was defeated for good, and the Spectral Sapphire had been forever destroyed.
With such great and grand power,
Herr Sturm thought,
perhaps I can fix this.
With a newfound determination born from grief and desperation, Herr Sturm held the gauntlet high, calling upon the artifact's seemingly limitless power. As all 6 crystals on the gauntlet glowed with an intense light, the once empty and dead eyes of some of the massacre's victims began to fill back up with light and color. Unfortunately for Herr Sturm, however, the crystal gauntlet didn't have limitless power, and as such wasn't able to bring back everyone from death's clutches. But before Herr Sturm could see which of his friends the gauntlet had revived, a loud and bright blast of energy burst forth from the artifact. When he regained his senses, Herr Sturm discovered 2 things. 1. The gauntlet had sent him and all his revived friends back to Zendo, the land Herr Sturm and many others were glad to call home. And 2. The process had left the crystal gauntlet damaged beyond repair. The latter discovery didn't bother Herr Sturm too much, though. Even if only one of his friends had been brought back in the process, it would have been a worthwhile sacrifice in his eyes.